Tonight on Fourth and a Mile, the tragic news that Jim Kelly's cancer is back. The cancer in the U.S. Olympic Committee, which is the U.S. Olympic Committee, is being treated, hopefully for good. And the cancer that is ESPN is only spreading. Stay tuned for more, guys. Holy hell, man. I take one day off, and I come back and I'm having all sorts of production problems. One day off. And all the production problems are being caused by me, so it's almost like that I just have a year's worth of rust on me and it's only been one day. Maybe I'm not so good at this after all. Welcome in, though, everybody. Welcome into the show that will not end. This is Fourth and a Mile, presented by Planet Adam. I am your host, the Pharaoh, or God King, if you will, of Planet Adam. And we got a lot to talk about tonight. But first, guys, go on over to bandcamp.com. Check out A Bloody Chasm. For all of you watching this on Facebook, you guys saw yesterday that I posted a picture that was the 3-year anniversary from the time that I actually met Jocelyn Gonzalez face to face, who is, well, at the time when I took the picture was when she was the guitarist for Cancer Slug, and at that time she was going by Little Bit Sluggish. Did I say that correctly there, Jocelyn? But yes, her real name is Jocelyn Gonzalez. She's the singer and one of the guitarists for Cancer Slug. Matt Hutton is another one of the guitarists for Cancer Slug, or for A Bloody Chasm. I still had Cancer Slug on my head. So yes, she is the singer / guitarist for A Bloody Chasm. Matt Hutton, my other homeboy, he is a guitarist for A Bloody Chasm as well. Go over to bandcamp.com, check out A Bloody Chasm. You guys will not be disappointed if you're into hardcore rock and roll, or as Jocelyn called it one time, I believe she said it was spooky metal or something like that. You guys will absolutely love it. The song that got broken up there because of my lack of computer capabilities, I guess. That's the title song for the show. It's called I Want to Rock and Roll, and that is done by A Bloody Chasm. Go check them out. You guys will not be disappointed. If you're watching this on Facebook, you've heard me say it 100 times. If you're watching me on YouTube, then you've seen me say it. Well, I think it's like my 7th video, maybe, something like that. So go check them out, though, guys. Go check them out. You will not be disappointed. Go check them out. So let's get on to the red meat of the day, which is why we're all here. And we're going to go ahead and talk some sports. And the big story that I want to talk about first, and let me move this up a little bit again. It keeps sliding down on me every single time. Okay. The story that I want to talk about first is ESPN. Now, I'm not saying that they're wrong here. What I am saying is this is a key moment for them in their credibility. There are a lot of people out there who have turned off ESPN due to them being a station now more of woke sports than anything else. So right now they're trying to grab at credibility. They're trying to grab at stories and try to say that they're the ones breaking them. But this is going to be a key one here, because if Mark Schlabach is wrong, then that does a big gut punch to ESPN on the level of credibility. So a few days ago, and I mentioned this on Facebook a few days ago, like right after I went off the show, I saw this this article on Bleacher Report, and the article actually came from ESPN by Mark Schlabach, who had reported that the University of Arizona head coach Sean Miller had FBI wiretap conversations with Christian Dawkins about paying his current UA basketball player DeAndre Ayton $100,000 to come to the University of Arizona. So Miller sat out the next game. I don't know why I put Schlabach sat out the next game. No, Miller sat out the next game while the University of Arizona conducted an internal investigation into the matter. Miller said that the report was, quote, completely false, and then he also went on to deny ever having any conversations at all with Christian Dawkins related to DeAndre Ayton. AU President Robert Robbins, not Robin Roberts from ABC, Robert Robbins, says he has no reason to believe that Miller did anything wrong or illegal, and that he does believe that the FBI might have wiretapped conversations with Miller and probably hundreds of other coaches as well. He has no problem believing that they do, but he's saying that due to the investigation that the university undertook itself. Hey, what's going on, Tess? Man, this has been a rough start to the night. Let me tell you, I take one day off and I come back with total ring rust. I feel like Hulk Hogan when he went back to WCW, only I'm not winning any championships. Anyways, so where was I? Yeah, so what he's saying is that after the University of Arizona internal investigation, he's found no reason to believe that Sean Miller had anything to do with a conversation with Christian Dawkins about paying DeAndre Ayton $100,000. In fact, he's gone on to say that even after interviews that Ayton had with the FBI has even stated that the FBI has even stated that that neither Ayton nor his family have received any benefits at all. So ESPN is sticking by the story, though. They're sticking by it. Mark Schlabach is saying that his sources are telling him that that's what happened. And I hope my table didn't. Okay, it looks like I'm still in place there. That was my knee banging up against my table. I was trying to put my leg up on my knee right there. So anyway, so Mark Schlabach is sticking behind the story. He says his sources are reliable and that it's a true story. Like I said, Miller did step aside for that one game, and that was because University of Arizona was conducting their own internal investigation. Now, it could very well be that the FBI has not shared all the information that they have with the university. That's very much the case. But at the same time, President Robbins, is saying that if they did have incriminating evidence on him, why wasn't he indicted like everyone else was, to include Christian Dawkins? So, if he's not being indicted by the FBI, hey, Kelly's watching too. How you doing, Kelly? If he's not being indicted by the FBI, then what are Mark Schlabach's sources telling him? Because if that was the case, if he did have a discussion with Christian Dawkins, who was indicted by the FBI, or was indicted about DeAndre Ayton, then why is he the only one that has not been indicted yet? like I said, they've already indicted Chuck Person, Christian Dawkins. They haven't indicted Rick Pitino, but Rick Pitino was fired by the University of Louisville. He still might get indicted, though. So I guess there's always that chance that they do still have something. So I'm not going to just completely slam dunk Mark Schlabach. But I'm going to tell you right now, if this comes out and comes out being completely false, then ESPN is going to have a lot of answering to do. They've already, like I said, their numbers have already dropped drastically because of stuff like this. And Clay Travis, and I keep talking about him, you know, and because I'm not going to say I'm a competitor of his or anything like that, but we do the same show, or the same style of show. But, you know, he's the one that that has come out and said, I'm the only one that criticizes, what's his name now? The defensive tackle from the Seattle Seahawks, Michael Bennett. I'm the only one that criticizes Michael Bennett about him lying about the Las Vegas Police Department. ESPN, on the other hand, is running with him as being this this voice to stand up for stand up for black people in sports. And when Michael Bennett was complaining about about racism in the Las Vegas Police Department, which, by the way, the 3 officers he interacted with in that situation, 2 of them were Hispanic, 1 of them were black. So when he goes on and says that they were being racist, and then there's over 100 videos which show everything completely to the contrary of what he was saying, and they're still holding him up as a hero. That is why ESPN is losing a lot of the money that they're losing. And so this right now can really be, like I said, a gut punch to ESPN, because this will lower their credibility that much more. If Mark Schlabach is trying to say that the FBI has evidence on Sean Miller and they don't, then that is going to really be a total gut punch to ESPN. And I think that's only going to drive their numbers down that much more. ESPN has suffered a lot of ratings decreasement, I guess, in the past couple of years. But this one is a big one, because you're basically throwing someone under the bus who, it looks to me, like I said, that when the university did their own internal investigation and found he did nothing wrong, it looks to me that that you're throwing him under the bus for nothing, because you have sources who you will not release who the sources are, no doubt of that, that are telling you one thing and they're telling you BS, and you're still reporting it anyways. So this could come back and really haunt ESPN. They have a history of it before. What's his name that I was talking to you guys about? Darren Ravel, who was trying to slam Johnny Manziel a few years back when he had these sources telling him that Johnny Manziel was receiving money for autographs and signed memorabilia, and his sources didn't come out, and so there was no evidence against Manziel at all. That's the kind of stuff that ESPN has been doing, and that's the kind of stuff that is driving people away from ESPN outside of the crap like with Michael Bennett. So ESPN really needs to Disney really needs to wake up, because Disney owns ESPN. They really need to wake up and realize that people don't care about politics. They don't care about conjecture. What they care about when watching ESPN is sports. Tell them the sports news. Don't tell them sports conjecture. That is horrible right now. And that they were the only ones that really reported it. When I saw it, I read the article and I posted it on Facebook. Well, I didn't post the article, but I posted that I had just seen it. That was because I was going by the ESPN report. And Mark Schlabach, as far as I have ever seen him, is he's always been a stand-up guy. But this looks bad. This looks really bad for ESPN. So Disney needs to wake up, slap the shit out of everybody at ESPN. The new president, I don't know what his name is. They need to slap the shit out of him too and tell him to right the boat, because this is the kind of shit that's going to get ESPN driven deeper and deeper into debt. So, all right, on to some other news, and this is some very sad news. Now, back in the 1980s, the University of Miami, my hometown, one of the teams I've always rooted for, were known by a lot of different names to include convicts, but but they were also known as Quarterback U, because they had a ton of great quarterbacks that went into the NFL. Bernie Kosar, Vinny Testaverde, but the original one was Jim Kelly. And we all know Jim Kelly from his years with the Buffalo Bills. Went to 4 straight Super Bowls, lost all 4, but went to 4 straight Super Bowls. He was a great quarterback in the NFL. He was a great quarterback in the USFL. He went into the NFL Hall of Fame back in 2002 on his first year on the ballot. Great quarterback. As a guy who grew up in a family that were Miami Dolphin fans, we hated the guy. But at the same time, we had total respect for him. We loved him when he was with the University of Miami, although I don't even remember that far back, to be honest with you. But when he became a Buffalo Bill, that's when we started hating him, because we were Dolphin fans, and so we hated the Bills. But in 2013, he was diagnosed, and Tess, you're here, so maybe if I mispronounce this, maybe you can correct me. Oh, Kelly too, you're an RN too, Kelly. Like I said, in 2013, he was diagnosed with squamous cell carcinoma. Do folk have to befriend you in order to tune in if I share? No, I don't think so. I think you can share and it'll be fine. But yes, he was diagnosed with squamous cell carcinoma, which is a form of skin cancer. Because of that, he had to have part of his upper jaw removed, and it was later discovered that the cancer had spread to his sinus area, so he had to undergo radiation and chemotherapy for that. He was declared cancer-free in September of 2014, but according to him, the treatment had taken its toll. He lost his ability to squamous. Oh, you're talking about squamous? Squamous. That's how squamous, maybe, I don't know how it's pronounced. Oh, squamous cell carcinoma. Okay. Anyways, but in 2014, it was he declared that he had been or that he was cancer free now, and the treatment had taken its toll. He lost his ability to produce saliva. He had lost his sense of taste. So he was healthy again in the terms that he was cancer free. But yeah, so that really was kind of a part of the price, I guess, he had to pay in order to be cancer free. So it looked good. I mean, he started looking healthier. He danced with his daughter about a month ago at her wedding, with a beautiful video that his wife tweeted. But today, Jim Kelly announced that the cancer has returned. Again, his whole NFL playing career, I did not like the guy one bit. After he retired, it wasn't like that kind of dislike. It's not like I ever said, man, I wish Jim Kelly would die in a plane crash. It was never like that. It was a football fan hating the football team that was the team that I root for as arch rival. And so Kelly just happened to be the quarterback of the team that I root for, or that I rooted for. So I hated him as a football player. I did, but I completely respected the guy because he was damn good. Anybody ever watched Jim Kelly play quarterback? He was damn good. But even more than being a great quarterback, he has always been an actual real stand-up great individual. So I do wish him the very best in a speedy recovery. I hope that he gets through this again and I hope that it doesn't come back again. So get better, Jim. I know you like to make some stops everywhere during the NFL season to talk to people about NFL, and I think everyone's going to miss you right now while you're trying to get better. So get back so you can start talking football again with everybody. So, okay, on to other news, and this is kind of a story that just won't go away. And you know what? It kind of doesn't need to. It needs to stick around. People need to hear about what's going on with this, because this was all just sick, disgusting shit that was done by this Dr. Larry Nassar. In case you guys have not been caught up on the news with this, Dr. Larry Nassar was a physician for the U.S. Olympic team, mainly the U.S. Gymnastics team, but he also had his office up there at Michigan State University. Well, he's had many of the girls from the U.S. Gymnastics team, as well as other athletes from Michigan State, who have all said that he sexually assaulted them, and he was found guilty already, I think, twice, because they're going through different court cases here. And so he's already basically doing, I think it's 140 years in prison, which I don't think he's going to get past that. He's already, I think, 55 or so. Anyways, and so there's a lot of other entities that are very culpable here, one of which being Michigan State University. The president had already stepped down. The athletic director had already stepped down. They were culpable because these girls went to the university and told them what was going on, and they were basically the girls were basically told by the university, well, you're talking to the wrong people. That is very, in my opinion, very level with the Joe Paterno, Jerry Sandusky stuff, where Jerry Sandusky was sexually assaulting these young boys who were going into football camps or whatever, and Joe Paterno had been made aware of it, but didn't do anything. That's pretty much part and parcel. I mean, it's the exact same thing. So Michigan State has a lot to answer for there, as well as all the other stuff that they have going on. I really don't even know how Michigan State still has an athletic program right now. The NCAA needs to come down on the on Michigan State University. But the other entity that is, Harvey Weinstein is actually a saint compared to what this guy was doing. Don't get me wrong, Harvey Weinstein's a sick fuck himself, but he's a saint compared to what these girls, or to what this guy did. So the other entity that is very culpable in all this is, well, there's two of them, but they both kind of clam together here. That's USA Gymnastics and the United States Olympic Committee. Well, it was announced last month that the CEO of the U.S. Olympic Committee, Scott Blackman, is now dealing with, and I guess cancer is kind of a theme for tonight. That's why if you looked at the title there, that he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Well, he resigned today citing the prostate cancer, citing that he's dealing with issues and such with the prostate cancer, which, you know, I'm sure he is. I have no reason to doubt that. But it comes just recently after several senators, Jeanne Shaheen and Joni Ernst, I know who Joni Ernst is, I don't know who Jeanne Shaheen is, have both made calls for him to step down as the U.S. Olympic Committee CEO. The reason being is because there was a Wall Street Journal report back in February of 2015 in which it was reported that that he basically told the USA Gymnastics president Steve Penny to, quote, do what you have to do, unquote, and then nothing else. He didn't do anything else. He didn't have to research that Michigan State. Remember, it's Michigan State University, not Michigan Wolverines. Anyways, and so he yeah, so after he told Steve Penny to do that, he really did nothing else. Even though he knew about the allegations into Larry Nassar, but he never did anything else. So right now he decided to go ahead and step down. Now we got I'm trying to find her name on here. I thought I wrote it down, but I guess I did not. Suzanne something. Oh, Suzanne Lyons. There you go. She's going to go ahead and take place as acting CEO of the U.S. Olympic Committee. I'm not sure what her title was before that, but if she was in the higher up echelon of the U.S. Olympic Committee, I think she needs to step down too. I think everybody that was in the higher up of USA Gymnastics or the higher up of the U.S. Olympic Committee in general need to step down because of this. They are all, in my opinion, culpable of this. Unless it can be proven that they had no knowledge whatsoever about it, they all need to step down. And that includes the chairman, who is the one who released the statement about Scott Blackman. The chairman is a gentleman named Larry Prost, who's he's a big-time millionaire businessman guy. He has been the CEO of EA Sports. He's, yeah, a real big businessman type of dude. I'll have to, okay, that's still the same thing you just wrote. Okay. Anyways, I think he needs to step down too. I think everybody that is in the upper echelon of the U.S. Olympic Committee needs to step down because of this and hurry up and get them replaced now that we have another full 2 years before, well, actually I guess 2.5 years before the Summer Olympics come back around. So they need to do something about this quickly. They need to get everybody who was at all even in the know about this and did nothing. They need to get them all out of there. Every single one of them. So, and possibly brought up on charges as well. Or maybe even just have civil suits against them. So, yeah, so that's what's going on right now with that. Scott Blackman, again, he has resigned. He is citing that it's battle with cancer. Oh, man, and you know what? I meant to be showing you guys pictures, and I just never did. And I didn't even do pictures for my baseball players tonight, simply because I'd already pulled up a bunch of pictures of all these other stories. I'm telling you, I have ring rust tonight. I just took one night off. One night off. That's it. And that's because that's what I'm going to start doing. Is just 4 nights a week, so that way I don't oversaturate with the show, because I don't want you guys to get bored of me that quickly. Although I'm not too sure you guys already are. And trust me, guys, if you're watching this for the first time out there in YouTube land, normally it's a lot smoother of a run show than this. Maybe I'm just tired. I woke up early today, so anyways, so now we're going to go ahead and get into something I've been doing in past recent weeks, and that is what I had been doing was my top 5 baseball players that I would go at every position that I would draft if I were the GM of a brand new expansion baseball team. And I just happily named them the San Antonio Defenders, even though that doesn't really exist. So, anyways, so I've done 5 catchers, 5 first basemen, 5 second basemen, 5 third basemen, 5 shortstops, and I decided to go ahead and just put the outfield all together as one, and so I'm going to go ahead and do 7 of them. And now I wish that I had gotten the pictures for all of them, because I feel like an idiot. So, you know what, here, we're going to run through the pictures real fast. That's what we're going to do. So this is one that I got of Jim Kelly. That's when he got elected in the Hall of Fame in 2002. Here it is right here. One is Kelly when he's playing in the NFL for the Buffalo Bills. This is when I hated the guy. There he is. Then we got here's that Mark Schlabach, who is the guy that did the story on Sean Miller. Here is Sean Miller. And you know what, I gotta say, Sean Miller does kind of look like a bit of a sleazebag, but again, the university found him doing nothing wrong there, so unless the FBI actually comes up with evidence that says that he did, or releases those wiretaps, you know what, I'm siding with the university right now, especially just because ESPN is ESPN. and ESPN blows. Then let's see. Oh yeah, and then there's this is Scott Blackman right here, the guy that just stepped down from the U.S. Olympic Committee today. That's him. So okay, I got you guys caught up with the pictures that I had. Jeez, I'm telling you, it's like I can. You know what? I got to turn this into 7 days a week just so I make sure I don't keep getting this ring rust on me. Jesus. It was 1 day, Adam. 1 day. I've come back from weekends, 2 days, and not had this much rust. Jesus Christ, man! I'm telling you. So anyway, so that's where we are there. So go ahead and get into my 7 outfielders who I would pick. Now, again, if you guys have someone different you want that you would put on in your outfield, that's fine. This is not an argument. What it is the guys that I would pick, and I'll tell you why I picked them. A big reason I'm picking these guys is because they're younger. So some of y'all might say, well, Andrew McCutchen's better than any of those guys. Well, first off, no, he's not better than, at least not the top 3. But also, Aaron McCutchen's also right now in his 30s. And if I'm signing a guy to contract to play for my team, I want to make sure it's a guy going to be there for 5-10 years. That's what I want. So these are guys that are all young. Some of them are very inexperienced, and so they're kind of risky there for me, but I'm still taking them because they have the potential to be really damn good. So we're going to start off with our first one. And again, I didn't get pictures for any of these guys, so I'm sorry. I promise you tomorrow night when I do the pictures, the starting pictures, I'll go ahead and do pictures. So, all right. So number 7, the first one is going to be Harrison Bader of the St. Louis Cardinals. He is probably not going to be opening day starter this year. He is going to be the 4th outfielder. I don't see anybody else being the 4th outfielder for them. He is 23 years old. The reason that he's number 7 and not higher up, or the reason he's not going to be one of the opening day starters, is because he only had a very small sample size of play last year. But all in all, he didn't do bad in his first few at-bats. He's 23 years old. He went .235, had 3 home runs, 10 RBIs. That was in very few games, and even a lot of the games that he played in, he didn't even play the whole game. So I honestly think if you watch the kid play, he is a talent that's gonna be great. I can't say that he's a surefire pick, but just by what I've seen of him, he looks like he is. So he is my number 7. My number 4 is another guy, or my number 6 rather, is a guy that's kind of in the same spot. Only he's got a little more experience in him. And that is Andrew Benintendi from the Boston Red Sox. He's also 23 years old, but he hit last year .276, 15 homers, 39 ribbies. Or no, I'm sorry, that was I was looking at the wrong numbers. He hit .271, 20 home runs, and 90 ribbies. I'm sorry. I was looking at Kevin Kiermaier's numbers there for some reason. Anyways, so Andrew Benintendi, and yeah, we'll get to Kevin Kiermaier here in a minute. But Andrew Benintendi is a great young outfielder. He's going to continue to get better. My guess is this year you're going to see him bump up to right around 300. He's probably going to have about 25, 26 home runs. He may hit the 100 RBI plateau. I mean, he was already at 90 last year and only had 20 home runs. So he's a good young hitter. He's a great young fielder. I like him. I think that he's going to end up being really good. So number 5 is going to be Andrew Benintendi's teammate, the 25-year-old Mookie Betts. Now, Mookie Betts has had a bit of a power surge in the past couple of years, and by that I mean he's hit a lot more home runs than I think anybody thought he was really capable of hitting. Last year he hit 24. That's not a lot per se, but for someone as small as he is and as speedy as he is, because that's what he is, he's a speedster, 24 home runs is a lot. He hit 264, had 102 ribbies, 26 stolen bases. So, and in today's game, the speed game is not really all that prevalent. So 26 stolen bases in a season for a guy is a lot, considering that you don't see them stealing all that much anymore. It's not like the 80s when the speed game was the prevalent way to win, when you had guys like Vince Coleman and Ricky Henderson stealing 100 plus bags a year. So, yeah, they've gotten away from that. So 26 is pretty damn good. It didn't lead the league or anything like that, but it's still pretty damn good. But the 24 home runs to me is the surprising one, even though it shouldn't have been, because the year before that he hit 31. So, again, he's not a big guy. I think he benefits from the park that he plays in, which is Fenway. He's a left-hander, so he's got that short fence out there in right field. So I think that all helps to provide him some power numbers. Don't get me wrong, but still, he actually had a really good couple of years as a power hitter, even though he's not a power hitter. So next on my list is going to be the guy that I brought up a little bit ago, Kevin Kiermaier of the Tampa Bay Rays. And outside of Harrison Bader, I've just done nothing but AL East. And actually, that's a lot of them, too. Anyways, Kevin Kiermaier, 27 years old. Last year, he hit 276, 15 home runs, only had 39 RBI. But he is by far and away, in my opinion, I don't think there's anybody better than him as a fielder in center field. He is as good as they come fielding the ball. He prevents a lot more runs than he scores. He is phenomenal in the field. I don't know if I can tell you anybody that I've ever seen that was better than him in center field. He is that damn good, and he deserves to be on the list. So then let's get into the top three now. The top three are as follows, and you guys, this might be where people really start to disagree with me here. Have you heard any scuttlebutt about Joshua Fonseca plays for a university? I don't know the name of mascot, but no. Nope. I don't know anything about that. Mascot is the Jaguars. Is it University of South Alabama? I know that the University of South Alabama are the Jaguars. My dad actually went to University of South Alabama when he got out of high school. That was way before they had a football team. But no, I mean, yeah, I know that he's not, he wasn't one of the guys that played for them this year. This year was, what was his name? Dallas Davis, and the other one was, oh, God, what's his name? Cole something. Anyways, those were the two quarterbacks for South Alabama. But, baseball player. I'll find out and ask you. Okay, I think you did tell me about him. Yeah. Find out and let me know. So, yeah, this is going to be the three people that, I don't know why I thought you said quarterback. Anyways, so these are my top three. And again, I'm sure this is where it's going to be a lot of disagreement with me. My number three is going to be Aaron Judge. Last year's American League Rookie of the Year. Hit 52 home runs. That shattered the record set by Mark McGwire in 1986 of, I believe, 48. He just destroyed the ball. And, I mean, when he hit a home run, you knew as soon as it left the bat, it was gone. Every single time. I think you could even hear the ball screaming every time he got wood on it. He crushes the ball. And now that they got Stanton over there, that's what's really making them even that much more dangerous. Now that you also have Sanchez and Gregorius and Bird, that's going to be a team that should have no problem at all leading the entire Major League Baseball in home runs. But Aaron Judge is one of the key points. My belief is that you're going to see him and Stanton alternate between DH and right field. I guess maybe just keep them both healthy. And so that'll be able to make sure that they're in the lineup every day. Because they're both, well, I think Stanton's probably the better fielder of the two, but Judge isn't bad either. So, but yeah, that's going to be it's the return of the Bronx Bombers. They are back. Or Murderers Row, as they were also called back in the day as well. So, but number 2, and this is where I think more people are going to be challenging me on this, is the guy who, in my opinion, is the second best player in the game. The 2-time American League MVP, Mike Trout. He has shown that he can do everything that he needs to do in the game. He is 5-tool as 5-tool can be. He can hit, he can run, he can field, he can throw, he can hit for power. He is awesome. There's a lot of people that call him the best in the game. I say he's the second best in the game because number 1 is the guy I say is the best in the game, and that is Washington Nationals' Bryce Harper, 25 years old. My opinion, the best player in the game. The kid gets a lot of shit because he talks a lot of shit. But again, he's a kid. So he hasn't really, to be honest with you, I think his maturity level has gone up every year. And I think I think now he gets a lot of shit just because of stuff he said when he was 19. As opposed to anything that he says today. But he's the guy that coined phrases like Oppo Boppo. Nobody had ever said that before him. He's the guy that in the locker room, when he was asked if he was going to drink champagne with the rest of the team, I think it was like if the Nationals win the division, he's the one that told the reporter, "That's a clown question, bro." So that was his response. Again, all that was when he was really young. And the reason he got asked that question is because he's a Mormon and so he doesn't drink. So that was a clown question, bro. That really was. Anyways, so he, in my opinion, is the best there is. Again, he's like Trout. He can do everything. He was drafted actually as a catcher. And they put him in right field to start. Then they moved him to left field, and now he's going to be back in right field. And you could swear that he went to college playing outfield, but no, he played catcher in college. You see the way he runs, you would never think that a catcher would run like that. He is fast. He's got power. He can hit the ball. All around, just the best player in the game, in my opinion, and that is why he is my number 1 outfielder. So, do we have any questions? Anything at all? Did I mess up in any? Well, no, I know I mess up in a lot of ways, just simply with how rusty I was running the show tonight. Oh, man, maybe I just need to retire. Maybe that's what it is. I'm getting up in my years. I know that for a fact. So, yeah, you guys have any questions at all? Go ahead and feel free to ask. If you have any comments, complaints, suggestions, go ahead and put them on there as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, share the video. Let's get Underdog out there. Oh, and Vanessa Wilborn, this is for you. That's a West Ham flag. So yes, I know the movie Green Street Hooligans. I've seen it 100 times. So, because I'm a West Ham fan. I'm West Ham till I die. I'm West Ham till I die. I know I am. I'm sure I am. I'm West Ham till I die. So, all right. So, anything else, guys? Anything at all? Am I wrong in anything? Let me go do a quick recap of everything I talked about. First off, Mark Schlabach needs to hope to God that his sources are correct here, or this is going to be a total gut punch to ESPN. That, after he made this report about Sean Miller having a conversation with Christian Dawkins about DeAndre Ayton, talking about paying Ayton $100,000 to go to school there. And to me, it looks like it didn't happen because Ayton has never received a single benefit from it. Sean Miller was not one of those that were indicted. So it looks like it's a false story from Schlabach and ESPN, but ESPN is sticking behind it. So ESPN, you guys are in deep shit because your numbers are already tanking, and they're just going to take more if that happens to be the case. Jim Kelly is battling cancer yet again. We here at Planet Atom are wishing him the very best. We're praying for him. Get better, Jim. I like hearing you talk about football, so get better. Scott Blackman, the CEO of the U.S. Olympic Committee, has stepped down today, citing battling prostate cancer, but it also comes at in the midst of calls by Senators Jeanne Shaheen and Joni Ernst for him to step down due to lack of doing anything about the Larry Nassar situation. My top 7 outfielders are Harrison Bader, Andrew Benintendi, Mookie Betts, Kevin Kiermaier, Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, and Bryce Harper at number 1. So, if you guys have any questions at all, feel free to ask them. If you're watching this on YouTube, guys, remember I'm just a sports fan. I'm not a professional analyst. I don't claim to be. I am not a professional athlete either, so I don't claim to be. I'm just a fan that likes to talk sports. So, if you like the video, go ahead and go ahead and hit like. Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and share the video. Let's get 4th and a mile out and about so everyone can watch it. All right, guys, if there's nothing else, then I bid you all adieu. I hope you have a great day. And, yeah, we've got one more day till Friday, so I'm not going to tell you guys tonight not to go out and drink and drive. So, all right, guys, besos.